Stuff going. I'm excited to kind of talk about engaging you all today and show you some tools and some different practices and everything. How many of you have been to some good sessions today? There's some good sessions? Let's go. All right, I'm looking for anybody who's in one of my previous sessions. Be like, yes, that session that we had today. All right? But my whole goal here is to not just talk about engagement, but to do an activity. You all ready to do an activity? Sometimes people are like, yeah, and then they walk out, which is fine. I'm not going to blame them, right? I get it. Sometimes, we think it's like a sit and get, and then you come in and it's an learn session, and you're like, I wasn't really buying this, AJ. I got too much CPA going on, so that's fine. You can leave, that's fine, complete, but we're going to be doing some work today. So I'm starting off by talking about tigers, which you didn't think I was going to go that direction, did you? You had no idea I was going to go tigers. How many of you have been to the zoo recently? Anybody been to the zoo recently? I have 5 kids. We go to the zoo every single year. I think it's a rite of passage that we have to do it every single year. How many of you have been to the zoo? All right. Yeah, so Trevor Reagan, who I love, he runs a site called Learner Lab and also Train Ugly. We were presenting at a National Student Council big conference. So there's kids, amazing, awesome students from all over the country there. And I was talking about some different engagement things, some AI stuff, and he was talking about what it looks like to be an active learner. And he throws this image up on the screen. And you gotta imagine, there's like 1,000 or so kids in the audience. They all start laughing. He's like, how many have been to the zoo? And they all start laughing. Those are all high school kids, right? But he starts going in this analogy that I want to share with you today, because I think it's really going to kickstart what we're doing right now, which is, if you've been to the zoo and you've seen the zoo tiger, they got the easiest life ever, don't they? They just walk around in their zoo. They get humans to bring out their food to them. They get humans to bring out their water to them. It's very safe. It's very secure. They got like the easiest existence ever. And they're still a tiger. Right? So if you look at what they have to go through here, it's very easy score, there's a lot of safety, and there's zero amount of struggle, right? Now flip that on its head and think about the jungle tiger. The jungle tiger is still a tiger, right? Like it's still a tiger, but it's got to do all kinds of things. It's got to go hunting, it's got to protect itself, protect its family, find water, find shelter, overeat every single day over and over. And so you look at their life, even though it's still a tiger, it's not that easy, it's not that safe, and they got a lot of struggle on a daily basis. Everybody understand that, right? So he asked all the kids this question. I'm going to ask you right now. What would happen if we put the zoo tiger in the jungle? How many people think that tiger's going to die? Who believes in tigers? Who thinks that tiger's going to adapt and thrive and survive? Anybody? We don't have much belief in the tiger. So in the 1970s, this actually happened. There was a tiger in the Washington, D.C. zoo named Mohini. And the animal rights activists were getting very upset with Mohini's surroundings and all that kind of stuff. And they were like, you know what? This is just, got to get this tiger out of here. So they did this whole big thing. They went to court and everything. And they finally got Mohini out of the zoo and dropped into a wildlife refuge. For 6 days straight, Mohini walked around in a circle the size of her enclosure. Never looking to kill anything, never looking to find water, just looking for humans to bring that stuff to her. And after 6 days, she collapsed. Now, Mohini didn't die. They were there observing. They took her, they nursed her back to health, they brought her back to the zoo, and it's kind of the last time they ever did something like that, just taking an animal out of captivity. But it brings up a really interesting point, one of the points that we're going to hit on in today's session, which is the zoo tiger has no survival potential in the wild because they have not faced any challenges and therefore not developed any skills. They got no survival potential. The jungle tiger has all kinds of survival potential because they faced all kinds of challenges. They had all kinds of struggle and they developed skills along the way. Everybody see where we're going with this? Mm-hmm. You feel where we're going? Because about this time, Trevor put this up on the screen. He talked about the fact that they both are tigers. They both have the same tools, the same abilities. The only thing different is their training and environment. How they're brought up, what their environment and their learning look like. Some kid raises their hand. Trevor calls them. Because I feel like a zoo tiger a lot of times in school. Another kid raises his hand. Yeah, me too. When the bell rings, I move from class to class. Another kid raises their hand. They're like, at my school, they give me food on a tray, like a tiger. The kids are cracking up laughing. So we asked the kids, I'm going to ask you again. When do they feel like zoo tigers in school? And when do they feel like jungle tigers? Because there's actually probably some moments of both. I want you to talk to the people around you right now for just a couple minutes. What are those zoo tiger moments our kids have in schools? And what are those jungle tiger moments they have in schools? And I want you to share out. So 3 or 4 minutes, shout to people around you, then I'm going to share out. Go ahead, get started. If no one's around you, you can just jungle tiger your way over to somebody, or you can zoo tiger your way and just stay seated. It's up to you. I might hop up on the stage real quick so I can see some folks while I'm asking this question. What do we got here? Who wants to share a zoo tiger or jungle tiger moment? Share out here. What do you got? Yes, you're back.
I think that our middle schoolers feel like jungle tigers during class change in the hallway.
I feel you on that, definitely. Right? Elementary teachers a lot of times say recess. Like that's the jungle, right? That could be the jungle. Yeah, the change is always a big one. Other stuff. What do we got? Yeah. Yeah, when they're self-driven, when they have some intrinsic motivation, that would be jungle tiger. You feel that? Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah.
The big changes like from elementary to middle, so from middle to high school, they feel that way. For us talking a little bit about kids who are coming from the jungle and they deserve to experience, sometimes like so that I know that's not the point of this, but that they're able to trying to communicate with those experiences.
Yeah. Well, so this is a good point. So sometimes home life is a jungle tiger experience. Right? Everybody kind of get with that? I think that's kind of where you're going. I'm sorry if I put words in your mouth, right? And a lot of times we gotta understand, like, all right, so then how might they rail if we have that type of experience in school? Like, what does that look like? And how might not they be ready if we give them this entire experience as well, right? That's what that looks like. That's great. Yeah. Yeah, some of our routines, the very zoo, tiger, right? And we kind of just do the same thing over and over, routine over and over, right? I'm not saying routines are a bad thing, but oftentimes, sometimes they feel like that, right? It's a zoo tiger. It's great. Other stuff. So Trevor shares all this. The kids are talking about everything, and he brings up these 3 important points, which are you can learn and get better at anything. You learn skills by doing, especially when you're stretched and challenged, and skills are built, not born. And I think most educators that I work with believe these 3 things. Do you believe these 3 things? Right? You believe these 2 things? Pretty much everybody believes these things. Now let me ask you a question. Think about the best learning experiences you ever had in your entire life. Best learning experience you ever had. Yeah, really think about it. Think about the best teaching experience you ever had with your kids as a teacher. See what pops in your mind. Is anybody here saying, you know what, that worksheet just changed my life in 5th grade? I'll tell you. That thing was just, whoo! Right? Anybody saying like, well, that one textbook I had in high school, the bolded passages, it was just phenomenal. No one's saying that, right? We all know what those best engaged learning experiences are. So I'm not going to sit up here and talk about engagement. Right? I really believe engagement, getting kids excited and interested about our curriculum, our content, the standards, the things that we have to cover. And I think a lot of times the engagement leads, as Bill Farrader says, into empowerment, which is where our kids learn the knowledge and skills to pursue their passions, their interests, their future. That would be the goal of kind of engagement to empower. What I find a lot, though, is that sometimes we don't know the structures, or we can't think about some of the structures of what made to engage our kids. So I want to do an activity with you. Y'all ready for this? All right, we're going to do a sprint activity. All ready to do a sprint here? All right, here's what it's going to look like. How many of you, so John Spencer and I wrote this book called Launch. And John's one of my favorite human beings of all time. He's the most creative person I know. These are all his sketches. You may have seen some of his sketch videos in the past, right? All kinds of stuff. And we did all these different types of sprints and all different types of things. But the one that I like the best, all right, what I'm going to do with you right now is one around the 2030 goals. Anybody know about the 2030 goals? Show of hands. Nobody? We don't have one ringer in here. All right, perfect. It's just like the classroom. No one knows what we're talking about. That's fine. All right? Just like teaching kids in here right now. All right, so in the year 2000, the United Nations, now how many of you know about the United Nations? Oh, look at us with our background knowledge, right? Kids don't always come with some background knowledge. The United Nations came up with the Millennium Goals. And basically there were, I don't know, a bunch of goals, 20 or so goals that they came up with, and they decided we were going to solve all the world's problems in 15 years. Then 2015 came, and they're like, we did not solve any of the world's problems, unfortunately. So, needless to say, they came up with the 2030 goals, which were developed in 2016, and they are wide-ranging goals, but they're all for sustainable development. When you see them up on the screen, maybe you'll be like, yeah, I know those. Anybody know those? Now, all right, now we got some people that are like, yeah, all right, I'm a ringer, I'm ready to go. Yeah, bring it on. So we're going to learn about these 2030 goals. I'm going to be going through a process here with you that actually Linda Darling-Hammond's group out of Stanford did as a combatant to what they saw a lot of teachers were having a problem with project-based learning. Anybody here done project-based learning with their kids? Okay. A lot of times when you do like a 6-week project-based unit, when does most of the learning and work happen with the kids? A lot of people always say at the beginning or the end. What Linda Darling-Hammond's group at Stanford found out is there's actually 3 days where most of the learning happens. Day 1, when kids are excited, and the last 2 days. That's the majority of the work that happens. Of course, there's work that happens in other parts, but that's the majority of the work that happens, and that's why a lot of people feel like it's a time suck, that you can't, it's too much time to put in curriculum and all that kind of stuff. So what they did is say, what if we replaced the 6-week unit with a 3-day learning sprint? And the outcomes were unbelievable. I think it's one of the best educational studies to come post-2000. They saw that not only were the academic achievement outcomes very similar, 3 days, 6 weeks, but the cognitive skill development and the social skill development was through the roof because it was a sprint. And when you replace 2 of those 3-day sprints in the 6-week period, all of a sudden the academic achievement grew and outgrew the 6-week process. Pretty amazing, right? So we're going to be learning about the global goals. We're going to be doing this exact same 3-day thing, but we're just going to do day 1. We're going to talk about day 2 and 3 when they look like. And it's going to be an earn-to-learn session. You're going to be learning. You're going to be getting in groups of 2 to 3 people, and you're going to be choosing one goal. Notice I didn't say 4 to 5 people. Did you hear that? You know what happens when you have 4 to 5 people in a group? Nothing happens, right? And if you were here in the morning keynote, we're going to be doing some red, yellow, and green. We're going to be using some AI in context. I'm going to be modeling what this looks like as a teacher and facilitator. So when you leave here, you have a structure, you have tools, and you have something you can turn to. Does that sound good, everybody? All right. After we do choose our goals, we are going to be doing some research. And I'll be kind of chunking that with you. Then we're going to be creating a public service announcement. And we're going to be doing all that before the reception here in our session. Y'all ready to do this? You have 5 minutes right now. You can go to globalgoals.org. 5 minutes to choose a partner and choose a goal that you want to work on. Here we go. Go to globalgoals.org, choose one goal you want to work on, and get some partners. Groups of 2 or 3. 2 or 3. You got about 2 minutes left to pick your goal. 2 minutes left, no pressure. I'll be yelling at you the entire time.
Shady over here. Yeah, right?
All right, let's see where we're at right now. Just raise your hand when I share your goal. I want to see like how many goals that we got covered here. How many of you chose number 1? We're going to group. Then number 2. Got a couple. Number 3. Battle between number 3. Look at that, right? We got a couple. Number 4. Awesome. Number 5. Number 6. Number 7. Number 7. Yeah, who cares about energy anyway? We don't need that stuff. It's fine. Number 8. Number 9. Number 10. Number 11. Number 12. 13. 14. 15. 16. Nobody ever chooses 17. It's not even a real goal. I don't know why I have it up there, right? In a partnership for the goal. It's not even real. But it looks like we got about 12 or 13 out of the 17 chosen, so it's a pretty good kind of mix. We're now going to head into the research phase, all right? And the research phase, this is going to be a yellow situation, which is you can use AI if you want to. I'm going to give you permission for 2 separate tools. I don't necessarily like ChatGPT for research. I love Perplexity.ai. Anybody used Perplexity before? All right. And if kids are 13 or older, I like them using Perplexity because it gives you the sources of where the research is from. Instead of just giving an answer, it gives you the sources, gives you footnotes, it links out. Perplexity.ai is fantastic. Now, do I have any like K through 3rd grade teachers in here? Even K through 5th. So I would not have your kids use Perplexity because the privacy laws are junk with kids that young, even middle school kids. So for all of you, I put some stuff up here. I'm going to share with you a link. All right. So I have all my resources, all the stuff that we're going to be talking about, and a link on here that I'm giving you. If I can scroll and find it. All right, here it is. So if you go to tinyurl.com/AJ Library, you're going to pull up all of my resources. It has slides, it has the AI tools that we're going to talk about, it has a bunch of stuff in there. It has different types of PBL sprints, all kinds of things on there. Does it work? Just a little thumbs up if you're getting it. All right, that means people got it, so the people around you will be able to get it. So if you go to that link, I also am giving for the elementary teachers, or really anybody that wants to try it, an AI bot. Okay? So for that one, if I pull up my link right here, see where it says Global Goals Research School AI? Okay, yeah, that would be better if I duplicated. Maybe I just drive that over here. Good? Yeah. All right. So on the document here, you'll see where it says Global Goals Research School AI. You also can click that one. All right, and that'll pull up and it'll be a school AI bot that you all can check out and use that for research as well. So you can use either one, both the one that I was just talking about, Perplexity, or you can use the one that was actually that we were talking about there specifically. So we'll put that slide back up there. Just make sure everybody got it. Perplexity is on that one as well. And then you have two goals that you're focusing on right now. Two specific things that you're focusing on. Number one, what does the world need to know about your goal, and what can they do about it? Has everybody got those two research questions? And you can use AI if you want to. Those two are the kind of ones that I'm allowing you in the yellow here. You have 10 minutes to research starting now. Here we go. Time's on. 10 minutes.
Oh, and sanitation.
You are real quiet. You can talk louder too. That's fine. We have a huge hall, so if you want to talk, you don't have to whisper. You can yell. You can talk. Play music.
And then I also, as one of its follow-up questions was, where
We got about 4 or 5 minutes left for research here. No pressure, 4 or 5 minutes. 4:25. 4.5. About 45.
Full thought action going on, right? Yeah. Yeah. Cool. I know that's right. Try to show them. Right? Yeah. Let's not. All right. How are we doing over here? All right?
But it has specifically cited sources.
Yeah.
ChatGPT.
Which helps a lot.
Yeah.
Here,
Yeah. Yeah, this is a good one for research. And this is yeah. This is you're jumping up.
now go to those sources.
There's only been a 69 to 74% jump.
Okay. We're going to head into our next step right now. Y'all ready for it? Ooh, we're ready. All right. Now, a couple people asked, hey, how did you create that bot, the school AI bot? And very simple. Okay. I'll show you. So on School AI, if I just go to like my account over here, so if I just log in real quick. Again, I'm using the free version. I'm not using like all the tools I'm going to show you. I just use the free version here. But if I sign in, it gives me 3 different options to create what School AI calls their spaces. Spaces are those custom chatbots that you all just kind of interacted with. I created a space based on the UN 2030 global goals and with the prompt for the research of what you're doing. Everybody saw that, right? How I kind of prompted went through. It was not hard for me to do that at all. All right. If I go to my creations, let me see what that is. See how right here it says Global Goals Research Assistant? So if I click on that, I'm going to show you a couple things. Number one, if I click on that, you can see the purpose of the space to help students research the United Nations 2030 global goals. This is what I gave, right, for sustainable development. They'll choose one goal to focus on, then they'll have to create a public service announcement after doing research on what the world needs to know about their goal and what they can do about it. More options. I can describe the audience, right, of learners. I can say what I want instructions, like keep kids on task, don't do the work for them, all that kind of stuff. You can put that in there. And then when I launch it, you get a QR code or like the link that you just got, and it goes through the process. The cool part about this is, on the teacher side of things, I now get to see everything you all were talking about. So I got a full dashboard here of everything you were talking about. All right? Look at this. What can we do? Zero hunger, going through the process. What we can do as a 10-year-old, help me fundraise, going through the whole process. Do you think? Well, it's a big challenge, but not impossible. Here's why. Asking people to do some inappropriate things, and the inappropriate things popped up. I can get little viewpoints of, again, how each student is feeling, what they're going in, and I can pop into any one of these and see what the reactions are. You'll see the benefit of that versus like a ChatGPT. Not only does it have safeguards, not only can I see, but I gave it specific instructions of what we're doing the learning task on. And supporting the learning, and I'm involved, the kids are involved, we can see everything that's going on. I got some head nods on right now, right? We're vibing with that. And you can easily create that, just like I did. You can also do quick ones, which is Sidekick. But the one I did was just create space, I upload the image and that type of stuff, and just run through that process. If your head's running on a million different ways you can use this, that's because there are a million different ways that you can use that, right? So next stage here, we are going to create something that matters. And this is going to be a completely green activity where I want you to try out some of these AI tools, all right? On the list that I gave you a bunch of different AI creation tools, the Sprint tools, on that tinyurl.com/AJ library. They're all listed on there as well. So if you want to create a video, you can create it on Canva or Capling. Capling is very much like a YouTube Shorts or TikTok style video creator that you can do with AI. InVideo is much more like an iMovies type style one. Both are great. I like InVideo better, just personally. All right, so we're going to try one out. And then you can also create audio. Maybe you want to create a song for public service announcement or something like that. Has anybody used Suno before? Yeah, Suno is awesome. You can create your own songs. You can upload custom lyrics or have it create lyrics for you. I got elementary teachers that use Suno all the time for brain breaks. They'll take their vocab words for the week, throw it into the song generator, create a song for the brain break, and now the kids are learning their vocab in contact with the brain break. You also can create something in Canva. I think the only cop-out one is slideshow. It's such a cop-out. Don't do slideshow. Everybody got me on that? Have you seen these slideshow generators now? Everybody seen those? Like Gamma and Canva and everything? I mean, you can try that if you want to. I put Gamma on there, and you can try it if you want to. It's a little bit of cop-outs, too easy, right? So you have 11 minutes now to create something. That's not a lot of time. It's not going to be perfect, but we're going to see if you can come off in 11 minutes. Is everybody ready to go? We're creating a public service announcement sharing what does the world need to know and what they can do about it. All right, what does the world need to know, what they can do about it? You got 11 minutes. Time's on the clock right now. Here we go. 2 minutes left, 2 minutes left, 2 minutes left. If you need accommodations, modifications, please let me know. Extended time granted. 4 minutes left, 4 minutes left. I'm coming. 4-minute countdown. And we are going to share this. We'll show you how. We'll go old school.
We're going to share out here in a second.
Okay, we are going to share out here in about 1 minute. 1 minute countdown. We are going to share out because I want you to see what other people are doing. As I'm walking around seeing everything, some really cool, creative stuff happening. Okay. I'm going to do a teacher thing where I talk, where you're finishing up your stuff on top of you, right while you're doing. How many of you, over the past 40 or so minutes, how many of you learned something new? Show of hands. All right, that was my goal. All right, learned something new. That was good. How many of you found something you could use, like as a teacher or a student in class? All right, that was also my goal. How many of you got to collaborate with your colleagues and work on something? All right, that was the social and cognitive piece. How many of you had to evaluate or synthesize information or apps or stuff that you're coming across? Look at us. How many of you had to either create something or attempted to create something in the past 30 or something? We're all hanging out at the top of Mount Bloom's taxonomy together, right? Like, come on now. We're just up there. This is the whole point of the Epic Guide to Student Engagement. Now, the reason this works so well is because this is day one of the sprint. Day one is a day where I like AI to be used. You don't have to, but I like it to be used. I'm yellow or green on day one. And the goal of day one is to get the kid to create something by the end of the day. Doesn't have to be perfect, but get them to create something, just like all of you create something. Day two, they share out and get feedback from each other. You've never seen such positive peer pressure because they're seeing what all their peers did and made. And day two then becomes red. They improve what they made. Here's where they iterate, they improve, they pull the citations, the resources, any that kind of stuff, and they improve, especially the academic type of content. Day 3 is the most important day. We're just having a conversation with the English teacher. We're like, I like this, I'm scared, what's going on here, right? Day 3 is the most important day. Day 3 is where they defend their learning. In person. Much like a Socratic seminar, I tend to like doing a fishbowl type thing. They defend what they made, why they made it, and different things about what they created. In a world of AI, it's never been easier to make the final product. And so if we are still in K-12 education, just assessing and grading the final product, we're done so, as the kids say. We need to assess the learning process, not just the final product. And we need to have kids defend their learning, defend their writing, defend their math problems that they've done, defend their science work that they. The defense is the key in a post-AI world. How kids can do that shows their understanding, their knowledge, their skills, and basically their depth of really where they're at. So that's what they do. But for right now, I want you to share off each other and see what we're looking. Did you notice a couple things here? Did you notice how the small groups really helped you out? 2 or 3 people, right? Helps you out, tremendous. Did you notice how I didn't say, hey, you have 40 minutes to do this, just go ahead, and then in 40 minutes I'll check on you? I was chunking and checking. 5 minutes for this, 10 minutes for this, 11 minutes for this. Chunking and checking all along. That's the facilitator's role as the teacher, right? As we're using these different types of things. So I do want you to share out, I want you to stand up with your group, try to find 4 or 5 other groups in the room, see what they made, and then we'll bring it back in and wrap things up. Y'all ready to do this? Stand on up, find somebody, see what they made, share, collaborate a little bit.
Read the lyrics here. Disease, a shadow creation. Body strength, the pain ridiculous.
Just put innovative ways to inform.
All right, you want to finish up? We're just going to wrap up here real quick, because I know we got to get you out of here. First off, have a little round of applause for everybody. This is pretty awesome stuff, right? It's pretty awesome stuff. A little round of applause for everybody. I want to put up those resources I have again. And here's what I want to say before y'all get out of here. You did a fantastic job, everything. Here's what I want you to say. On this document, I got some other really cool stuff. I just didn't want to bombard you with too many things. Notice how I was trying to give you all the tools in context. Here's some research ones. Here's some creative ones. Here's some different things like that. If you are a math teacher, I love Snorkel so much. If you're a humanities teacher, I love Brisk Teaching so much. There's different ones on there depending on your context and everything. But if we want to use it to engage students, I think it's just as much about the structure than the tools. And as I said this morning, it's going to be us as the facilitators to choose when's red, when kids aren't using it, when's yellow, when kids are using it, when's green, we're really kind of pushing them to use it. We're not going to be able to really understand that unless we start creating with it ourselves, using it ourselves, interacting with ourselves. And so my challenge to all of you is, don't be afraid of this. As George Crow said, this AI stuff, it's like water. It's all around us, it's all around our kids. We can either teach them to swim or watch them drown. That's on us. And same thing too. We can either learn how to swim or drown you as well. So my hope today is that you saw some benefits, some tools you can use, some things to get into. I hope you also just had some fun, right? I had a little fun here, doing some things. Have a great time. Awesome day one at the conference, and have a great rest of the conference. Thanks so much, everybody. Reach out anytime. Thank you.